Check. Hurts so good. Hurts so good. Whoop. Hurts so good. Come on, baby, make it hurt so good. Sometimes love don't feel. Sometimes love don't feel like it should. You make it hurt so good. Hurt so good. Hurt so good. Come on, baby, make it hurt so good. Sometimes love don't feel like it should. You make it hurts. Sucks so bad. Hurts so good. Come on, baby, make it hurt so good. Sometimes love don't feel like it should. You make it hurt so good. Hurt so good. Come on, baby, make it hurt so good. Sometimes love don't feel like it should. You make it hurt so good. Yeah. Woohoo! Let's freaking go.
Check. Green screen's coming, don't worry. Just rearranged my room a little bit, so. Ribbit. Excuse me. The other thing is, got a lot of news to go over, so. Let's check out what's going on here. Big news, big news. ESPN, Fox, and Warner Brothers Discovery team. ESPN, Fox, and Warner Brothers Discovery team up to launch Sports Super Streamer. What's all included in this? Three of the biggest sports broadcasters are uniting to create a super platform that will house their sports assets under a single streaming roof. It's the New World Order, the one world streaming government. The one world order of streaming. Isn't that just the way things are going, Rick? Greetings to you, my good man. Is this the way of the world now? Everything is just consolidating to the top of the pyramid. Let's see if we could fast forward a little bit. They got the NFL, NBA, MLB, NHL, and soccer. NASCAR, UFC, and golf. What's missing? Tennis? What's missing? All I can think of is tennis so far, as far as the major sports. Right? The companies did not specify how much it will cost or what will it be named. How'd you like to be on that team? How'd you like to be on the team that comes up with the name? What would you name it, Rick? have been in place for years. Accurate. What would you call the one world government of sports? I would call it the SWO, Sports World Order. Boom, boom, boom. Major moment of the industry. You can say that again. Legacy media companies have been working for years to transition away from relying on the traditional cable bundle and toward profitable streaming services as millions of customers cut the cord each year. A migration prompted by the rapid rise of Netflix. After pouring billions into their own streaming services to compete with Netflix, the leaders of several major media companies, including Bob Iger, chief executive of ESPN parent Disney, and David Zaslav, chief executive of Warner Brothers Discovery, have recently signaled to consumers to expect more bundling. Yeah, well, if Disney owns ESPN, uh, they're gonna have to. What? How does that work? If only ESPN is going, so it's not a combination of Disney. It's just ESPN. That's a little confusing how this is gonna work, and I'm sure there's some contract negotiations. I'm really sorry behind the scenes. You know. The other thing was, what was I gonna say about this? Oh, I wanted to tell you a story because this was like a couple years after high school. It might have been after college actually. After what would have been college. You know, you go to high school for till you're 18, and then the next 4 years for most people is college. I remember a friend of mine from high school, and I went to Chaminade High School, which was an all boys Catholic high school here in New York. And so we had people from all over Long Island go to school there. And this particular gentleman was from the area known as Locust Valley, which is where my ex-wife teaches. It's up on the North Shore of Long Island, very wealthy area. He had a mansion, and he used to have parties there, and you know, without knowing for sure, I would say he probably is, you know, initiated in the Brotherhood. He definitely was in a frat, but I remember him under the guise of a friendly meetup coming out to a bar on a Sunday and then pitching a pyramid scheme which would have required oh, I remember. I think it was after I got off the Ultimate Fighter show. Yeah, cuz he wanted me to give him $500 to get in on this pyramid scheme. But he was trying to explain it as the industry being deregulated. Unknowingly, um unknowingly what? No, I went to meet him. I thought he just wanted to get beers and wings, which I might have. Yeah, I think I was eating wings at the time. Yeah, because the last time I had wings was when I got arrested for DUI, and pretty sure I was in the UFC at that time. What was that? 2008? Yeah, that was the last time I had wings. So this was probably in 2006. So he knew I had money. He wanted me to get, to give him $500 to get in on this. and it was a deregulation of. He was explaining how, at the time, I think it was he was saying something like, "Oh, it's only AT&T," and then something about the deregulation of the industry. But he probably did get rich off of that, or at least make some money. But I just got reminded of that after reading this story because it's like in the digital industry here, you have streaming services, and it's just like anybody can do whatever they want. It's not like back in the 80s, the only way to get famous, or excuse me, the only way to get to become successful as a musician, you had to get signed to a label. Now you have people, they're independent artists and they make money. Like the guy who's got all the tattoos on his face, the white guy. He just did a song with Ben Shapiro. Now I personally think he's garbage. Is musically, totally not into the to his style of music. Uh, reminds me of a corny Eminem, and Eminem is not really my style of music either. But this guy and guys like Nefex, is it Nefex? No, yeah, maybe it is Nefex. I think it's Nefex. Not Travis Barker. I actually like Travis Barker's music. Hold on, I'll look this up. New rap song with Ben Shapiro. Tom McDonald. There it is. Facts. The freaking corniest freaking song I've ever heard. It's just such a money grab. Ben Shapiro is the biggest nerd. He talks like a freaking nerd and he raps even worse. I'm sorry, Ben Shapiro. Maybe you're a nice guy. I'm not into your political stance. It's just so corny and cringy, this song, and the melody's bad. I think that's what I don't like the most. The melody of these songs is so bad, and it's just gimmicky. Anyway, I'm really trying not to be just a Debbie Downer all the time. I'm sorry. Yeah, so we don't really have a lot of info about the SWO yet. Notably absent from the partnership was NBC Universal and Paramount Global, both of which have their own services. Who gets the Super Bowl? What channel gets the Super Bowl?
You can watch Super Bowl 58 on CBS, Fubo, Paramount Plus, YouTube, and YouTube TV.
Okay. CBS and YouTube. Hmm. Universal and Paramount. Hmm. Interesting. What do you think, Rick? You gonna watch the Super Bowl, by the way? Foods we eat are covered in plastics that may be causing a rise in premature births. Oh my God. Remember, I'm trying to maintain a positive attitude. Oh my God. Premature births are on the rise? Oh, I'm sure it's not 5G. Yet experts aren't sure why. Now researchers have found synthetic chemicals called phthalates. How do you pronounce this? I always see it around. Let's see. Sorry. How do you pronounce phthalates? Phthalate. Unfortunately, probably will be watching. You're not into football. You're just gonna part. You're just gonna be at the party.
Phthalate. Phthalate. Phthalate.
The P is silent. Phthalates are used in clear food packaging and personal care products. Past research has demonstrated that these everywhere chemicals, because they're so common, are hormone disruptors that can impact how the life giving placenta functions. This organ is the source of oxygen and nutrients for a developing fetus in the womb. They can also contribute to inflammation that disrupts the placenta even more and sets up the steps for preterm labor in motion. Oh, because it's a pseudoestrogen, right? A phthalate in food packaging called di di-2-ethyl hexylphthalate or DEHP. But I like the commercials. Oh yeah, the commercials are the best part, bro, right? That's funny. Um yeah, it's not even a sport anymore. I think everybody just came out and admitted that it's sports entertainment, and the uh, and the result is predetermined. But if it's a good show, if it's a good show, maybe it'll be fun to watch, huh? Party and commercials. Let's go. Isn't that a Biggie song? Party and commercials and party and commercials. Okay. The 5 to 10% percentage. Okay. In our new study, we found DEHP and three similar chemicals could be responsible for 5 to 10% of all the preterm births in 2018. This could be one of the reasons that it's on the rise. Oh, really? Um, so I'm taking statistics next semester. So I don't really know, but 5 to 10%, is that enough to say that this chemical is the reason? Holy. What a show. I'm just yawning the whole time. Everywhere chemicals. Globally, approximately 8.4 million metric tons of phthalates and other plasticizers are consumed every year. Consumed? When you say consumed, you don't mean eat, do you? You mean just bought? Manufacturers add phthalates to consumer. Um, Consumer products to make the plastic more flexible and harder to break, primarily in polyvinyl chloride or PVC products such as children's toys. Hmm. Phthalates are also found in detergents, vinyl flooring, furniture and shower curtains, automotive plastics, lubricating oils and adhesives, rain and stain resistant products, clothing and shoes, and scores of personal care products, including shampoo, soap, hairspray, and nail polish, in which they make fragrances last longer. Oh my gosh. Studies have connected them to childhood obesity, asthma, cardiovascular issues, cancer, and reproductive problems such as genital malformations and undescended testes in baby boys and low sperm counts and testosterone levels in adult males. Oh my god. The Consumer Product Safety Commission no longer allows 8 of them to be used at levels higher than 0.1% in the manufacture of children's toys and child care products. However, not all of the 8 have been limited in food packaging. Wow. So, according to this statement, the Consumer Product Safety Commission cares more about our health than the Food and Drug Administration. That's kind of amazing that there's more concern for the product safety in things that don't go into our bodies. Is that just because they're going to get sued? Is this another money issue? It's like, come on, man, really? I just made a comment on a Instagram post. The guy made a comment about that new headset. What is it called? You know what I'm talking about? The new headset. It's a virtual reality thing. He goes, the end. I said, you know what? It's better than phones. I think the new virtual reality headset is better than phones. Is it virtual reality or is it augmented reality? Whatever. In response to governmental and consumer concerns, manufacturers may create new versions of chemicals that no longer fall under any restrictions. Wow. Holy. Take DEHP, for example, which has been replaced by newer phthalates called DIDP, DNOP, and DINP. Holy. How about this one? IHOPNE. Wait. IHOP Ness. So you have to spell out the word and then say Ness after. So there's IHOP. You have to say IHOP Ness. And then, what's the other funny one? IMAP. IMAP Ness. That's an old joke. You say I and then you spell. That's what it was. You say I and then you spell the word, and then say Ness. So there's map. There's hop. I think that might be all. DIDP. That's just reminded me of it. Are those safer than the original? That's not what scientists say. They typically discover as they spend years and thousands of dollars to test the newcomers. Yeah, it's just like steroids. By the time they get a test, they already made a new one that's not going to test. It's not going to pop. Why would we think that you can make a very minor change in a molecule you're manufacturing and the body wouldn't react in the same way? Asked toxicologist Linda Birnbaum, former director of the National Institute of Environmental Health Sciences, as well as the National Toxicology Program. She too was not involved in the paper. Phthalates should be regulated as a class of chemicals. As a class. Many of us have been trying to get something done on this for years. Oh yeah. Even more dangerous swaps. The new research, which investigates the impact of early environmental influences on children's health and development, in 69 sites around the country, expectant mothers and their newborns are evaluated and provide blood, urine, and other biological samples. The team identified 5,000 mothers that tested positive for phthalates and compared those with the baby's gestational age at birth. Okay. So, hmm, they found that the babies who were preemies, their mothers had phthalates in their blood. They were able to confirm past research. Oh, fuck my neck. Showing a significant association of DEHP with shorter pregnancies and preterm birth. So, alright, they're going to regulate DEHP and then they're going to come out with more of these. They're going to have DELP, DEZP, DE7P, you know? Just make a new one that's not regulated. Avoid microwaving food in general, but definitely not in plastic, including infant formula and pumped human milk. And don't put plastic in the dishwasher. Oh, shnikes. Because the heat can cause chemicals to leach out. Look at the recycling code on the bottom of the products to find the plastic type and avoid plastic with regulating codes, recycling codes 3, which typically contain phthalates. I gotta go fast through these stories. So they got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 stories left, and there's only 30 minutes left. Coke has a problem. People are increasingly seeking out water, seltzer, and other flavored drinks and treating the 137-year-old soda as, well, a treat. To counteract the trend, Coca-Cola, over the past few years, has experimented with a wacky limited-time offerings to persuade customers to try Coke again and get them addicted. But its latest flavor, Coca-Cola Spiced, is its first permanent addition in a while. It's part of Coke's attempt to cater to tastes changing along with America's demographics. Maybe I should do push-ups to keep my eyes open. Oh. It's so weird. Like when I'm passing out, I get these thoughts, and then I forget what they are. Oh, let me because I adjusted my seat, I gotta adjust the camera now. Is it deja vu? It's like, yeah, it's like, I'm thinking, because what was I think I was thinking something about, my mind was going off in a tangent about, um, Latin, like they're trying to appeal to the Latin market, I think. I don't know. They announced the new flavor Wednesday, saying it blends the traditional Coke with raspberry and spiced flavors. It will be available both in full sugar and zero sugar varieties when it hits shelves in US and Canada in the coming weeks. You know what I think's gonna happen to Coke? Na 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 na. Hey hey hey. Goodbye. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. Hey. Goodbye. Good boy. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. Hey hey hey. Good boy. Na 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 na. Na na na. I can't hit that note anymore. I didn't warm up today, so my voice is not gonna hit any notes. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. Hey hey hey. Good boy. What do I think's gonna happen to Coke? Na 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 na. Na 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 na. Hey hey hey. Good boy. Good riddance. Congress has a duty to modernize opioid treatment. Okay. Upon graduating from medical school, doctors are required to swear an oath, promising to aid the sick and do no harm to their patients. Wow. Where was this oath in 2020? Am I right? Members of Congress also take an oath to uphold the Constitution and help our constituents. Yet, on one of the most pressing issues of the moment that took more than 110,000 lives last year, we have yet to uphold that oath. Year after year, drug overdose has wreaked havoc across America. In my home state, who's this? Don Bacon. Okay. In my home state of Nebraska and across America, there are empty chairs at the dinner table, empty beds in once messy team bedrooms, empty desks in classrooms. The overdose crisis has touched countless families and communities, with nearly 80% of the country seeing a significant increase in drug overdose rates between 2019 and 2020. The COVID-19 pandemic accelerated these dire trends, creating a crisis that continues to this day. Almost 110,000 Americans died from overdose between July 2022 and July 2023 alone. Yeah, well, the government's owned by Big Pharma, so what are you going to do about it, Don Bacon? I'm no stranger to this. My three younger brothers all died. Oh my God, what a story this guy has. Holy. His three younger brothers all died from drug overdose. Oh God, I'm so sorry, Don Bacon. I didn't mean to give you a hard time. I don't wish that on anyone. What makes their deaths and the deaths of every person who's died from an overdose even more tragic is that they're preventable. The drug companies, huh? For individuals with opioid use disorder, methadone is a gold standard medication that's been proven to prevent overdose and save lives. Since the 70s, methadone has been prescribed to decrease the cravings, ease withdrawal symptoms, and dramatically reduce drug use. Most importantly, studies show methadone has been effective by 60%. Currently, it can only be prescribed at opioid treatment programs or methadone clinics, and these clinics are few and far between. 80% of U.S. counties don't have a single one. Nebraska has three, all of which are in Omaha and Lincoln. Wyoming, with whom we share a border, has zero. People with opioid use disorder who live in western Nebraska, Wyoming, or rural counties across the United States have no choice but to travel vast distances to receive their prescribed dose of methadone. And travel they must, since the law requires individuals suffering from opioid use disorder to receive their daily methadone dosage in person at an OTP. Holy. Every day? Wow. If the car breaks down, if a blizzard closes the roads, or if a family member's medical emergency delays them from reaching before closing hours, they're SOL. Dang. I don't know if I have addictive personality, but I'm glad I never touched this stuff. And I'll tell you why, because it seems like a bit much. You know, I spent a lot of money on weed in my life, and I wouldn't say I would take it back, but I wish I didn't. You know, and the times when I quit weed or stopped using weed, like a few months ago, I stopped because I couldn't afford it. So it's not like I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna quit cold turkey or I'm gonna stop using weed. It's just I couldn't afford it anymore, so I stopped buying it. Could I afford it now? Maybe, maybe not. I'm just not gonna do it though. I did try to back with the dealer, but I guess he changed his phone number or something because I texted him like over the past few months, maybe 4 times, you know. So either he's ignoring me on purpose because he never did that before, or he changed his number. Okay. All right. Here we go. Congress is taking notice. My bill enjoys support from an ideologically diverse bipartisan coalition. In fact, Republicans and Democrats in the Senate Help Committee just worked together to pass MOTAA out of committee. Okay. So this is government relaxed rules regulating methadone, permitting some individuals to take their medication at home. Across America, individuals suffering face car trouble, family emergencies, and snowstorms, preventing them from picking up the methadone. They're spending hours, days, or weekends without this critical medication, increasing their risk of return to use or overdose, and perpetuating the vicious cycle that created this crisis in the first place. Congress can't remain idle. We got to keep the promise we made to the American people to solve the most pressing problems. We must keep the promise we made to the American people and vote in RFK Jr. Okay, let's see. No. Hmm. Sorry. We got 20 minutes. I gotta stay awake. College athletes just got even closer to becoming employees? What? This ruling could be a game changer, but it's not over yet. Amateurism in college sports isn't dead yet, but on Monday it took one of its most substantial steps toward the grave. Well, look, before I get into this, I always say that it's not too far fetched because they get scholarships, right? And people don't bat an eye at that. Isn't that like getting paid? You play the sport, and if you get a full ride, you don't have to pay for school, and you don't have to pay for probably housing and food and stuff. So you're an athlete, and because of that, you you know everything free. So it's like you're getting paid for the value of what it would have cost to go to school, and it can be pretty expensive actually. So you might even be getting paid a lot. Um, Anyway, a regional director for the National Labor Relations Board, which regulates private sector labor disputes, ruled that Dartmouth University's men's basketball players are school employees and will hold a union election. The vote could come as soon as the next 2 or 3 weeks, the board's press secretary, Caleb Blotto, told me. No group of college athletes has ever been closer to formalizing the reality in that instead of just playing for the school, they work for it. The regional director's ruling is massive but not unprecedented or quite yet a victory. In 2014, football players at Northwestern University tried to gain employee status and hold a union election. A regional director ruled in their favor too, but then the Northwestern players ran into problems at the upper levels of the bureaucracy. A decisive federal 5-member panel sits above the board's regional offices, and that committee declined to call them employees, saying that such a recognition would create a confusing regulatory patchwork between schools and would not promote stability in labor relations. Uh-oh. Um, don't underestimate the importance here. The NCAA's long preferred version of amateurism has been degrading slowly for a decade, as court losses and state legislation have piled atop each other and given way to a world where athletes collect payments from third parties to suit up for their schools. Oh, interesting. The last big domino to fall is the one that either makes them employees or devises some other system for direct revenue sharing. What happened recently was the biggest move yet in that direction, and unlike the other guys who almost had it, the Dartmouth players of the 2020s have an excellent chance to win the day. A real chance now exists that the players who fire the mortal shot at amateurism won't be football players in the Southeastern Conference or the Big Ten, but will, against all odds, be some nerds at Dartmouth. How is that against the odds? That makes sense to me because they're the ones pushing the papers. The other guys are more jocks. Okay, let's see. Whatever the result, their ruling will be the subject of lengthy excerpting in the other ongoing legal fights against administrators. I'm not feeling it, guys. Let's move on. I'm not feeling this one either. I had a heavy feeling in my chest. I didn't know my heart was failing. Aw. Not being able to breathe freely is terrifying, especially when you don't know why. My first cardiologist told me that I had the heart of a 90-year-old and I had heart failure. I went home with a medication for fluid retention and an appointment to come back. Dear, that really stinks. My condition was... Wait, when was this? 2018. I was going to say it was probably because she got an experimental medical procedure, but could be just heart disease. It was more severe than it was originally made out to be, but I didn't know that yet. I didn't have all the information. I just went on with my life as usual, unknowingly getting worse day to day. I knew in my gut this wasn't what I needed. I sought the opinions of 2 other cardiologists and got more water pills, including medication that I now know has been shown in studies to not be as effective for black patients like me. Sheesh. Racism in the system, huh? Unfortunately, my health wasn't improving even after I received both a defibrillator and pacemaker to try to improve my heart function. My health continued to deteriorate. Well, they didn't fix the original cause of the problem, and that is a valid criticism of the modern medical system, isn't it? That the approach is dealing with symptoms and managing symptoms and using the concept of a treatment rather than actually helping somebody heal. What happened to the oath, the Hippocratic oath, that doctors are supposed to help people heal and not hurt them? And yet you have doctors prescribing drugs that have side effects? Huh? If you're prescribing, if you're knowingly prescribing a drug that has side effects, is that equivalent to, oh my God, my brain, doing harm? Hmm? Non-ischemic cardiomyopathy. It's a condition where the left ventricle of the heart is enlarged and stretched, preventing the heart from pumping blood effectively. That is, I'm going to say, having rotten animal products in the colon. And that could be inaccurate. But if you look at this lady, you can see that she's probably lovely personality. What was I getting at? There's a fold here in the neck on the left side. That's where her condition is. I bet you she's got something similar to me, leaky gut, and I'm, not having heart attack and stuff because I don't eat any animal products. But if you got leaky gut and animal products, I think that could be a reason here. A left ventricular assist device, also called a heart pump. January 2022 is connected to my heart and helps pump blood through my body. It didn't just save my life, it gave my life back. Wow. The change I noticed was almost instantaneous. And now I'm truly living life to the fullest. I'm going to the gym, cooking, and running my own catering business. Most importantly, I'm spending more time with the people I hold most dear. Fading fast. Here we go. What do we got? 11 minutes. Alexander Usyk missed the birth of his daughter before the Tyson Fury pulled out of a blockbuster fight. Oof, that hurts. He revealed that he missed the birth of his daughter before Tyson Fury pulled out of their blockbuster fight due to injury. So he was going to get paid a lot of money to fight Tyson Fury, and he said, you know what? I'm going to focus on my training, and so therefore, I'm not going to be home, and I'm not going to see my wife give birth. And he did that. He did what he said he was going to do. But then the fight got canceled, and so he missed it for nothing, right? Oh, that stinks. I hope he gets compensated. Um, Tyson Fury withdrew from the bout after sustaining a cut above his eye in training. Oof. Accidental headbutt, sparring without headgear, sparring too hard, or just an accident. The contest has been rescheduled to May 18th, although Usyk said he missed the birth of his daughter as he was in the thick of the training camp in preparation for the initial February date. I've sacrificed a lot for this fight. I did not celebrate any holidays, not New Year's Eve, not my birthday, not the birthdays of my children that took place while I was training. I was not with my wife when she gave birth, even though I should have been there. In the hospital corridors, probably not right next to her because giving birth is her business. But I should have been outside in the corridor where I could hear my new baby daughter crying. Not the first time this fight has been put off. Let's see. I'm still happy, he said. Things happen in life. I'm very happy because I go now to Ukraine. I see my 2 daughters and my wife. I go to church and pray. A little bit of rest and back to my camp. Yeah, that Tyson Fury is something else, huh? Doesn't seem like a smart guy. That's not an insult, just an observation. He seems like medium intelligence. For a fighter, he's smart. But boxing isn't smart to do. I understand he's making money, but if he wasn't wearing headgear and got the cut on his eye because of that, that's really dumb. I told the guy on Facebook yesterday because he messaged me. He goes, "Hey Luke, I remember speaking to you a while back. You were telling me about the headgear you use because, it's special, and you said it's got the right kind of opening in the face. It's got a chin pad, and it's actually made for Thai sparring, Muay Thai with elbows sparring. And it protects your chin and it's supposed to protect your nose." So anyway, he's asking me about it. It's called HGL10. It's made by Twins Special. It's the only headgear I wear. Twins Special HGL10. Sorry. 6 minutes left. Here it is. Yeah, this is it. Okay. Got the chin protection. Really is like like a helmet. Anyway, he goes, "Yeah, I wanted to learn about the headgear because I got a detached retina and I want to start sparring again. I'm healed now." I said, "Bro, that's dumb." I'll literally read you the message I sent him. "Hey, I'm originally from Long Island and I followed you for years. I messaged you, but I can't find it. Um, I had a good run, but I had a good run in MMA until I detached a retina. I finally have my health and eye in order and I want to get some light rounds in with the guys again. You told me you had a special headgear. Can you recommend it?" You know what I said? I said, "I would say that's a dumb idea to go back to get hit in the head, even if it's light." And then I told him the headgear anyway. He says, "I agree. I detached it sparring when I wasn't wearing headgear. I was a moron, but I thought it would help me get used to being hit while we spar with 16-ounce gloves, and there were no heavyweights when I would train." I'd be going super light, not much contact at all. I'm hoping to just move around. It's just that my eye can't take a chance on getting tapped even. I have a tube shunt in it and a lens was installed, so it's delicate. I lost my wife. Couldn't even train. Um, he says, "Thank you for giving a shit about people and saying what many need to hear." I said, "Yes, I do care. You can do sparring with no head contact and look up the dangers of subconcussive impact." Then I sent him the video. It's called Master Luki Boxing. Quotes the beginning. Then he said, "Thanks for sharing. I came up in an offshoot of Kyokushin. We would do triathlon rules. We work rounds like your video. I should just stick with no head contact. I guess sometimes you need a little nudge to make a better decision. Thanks, man." I said, the last thing I said was, "It's still boxing and you won't have to go light." There you go. 3 minutes left. Can we finish one more story here? Meta warns Mark Zuckerberg could die in an MMA fight with Elon Musk. And it doesn't even matter if it's Elon Musk. Anybody could die in an MMA fight. Just like anybody could die in boxing. Just like anybody can die in any sport where there's the chance of a concussion. Okay? Can you die from a concussion? Untreated concussions can lead to serious injury or death. Can a concussion be life-threatening? It's rare, but a concussion can lead to bleeding in the brain or brain swelling that can be fatal. Yes, medical technology and procedures have advanced, and you got a good chance. Here you go, 85 to 90% will recover within 30 days. Okay, that's not the stat I was looking at. My dad told me a statistic. It was like if you got off the battlefield, you survive these days. Like it used to be, people they got taken off the battlefield and it was like, oh, are they gonna die of infection? Are they gonna bleed to death? Blah blah blah. But the medical technology advanced, so and certain I forgot, maybe it was Vietnam. If you got off the battlefield alive, you're gonna survive. Anyway, concussions can result in death. I'm not making that up. It said right here. It's rare, but a concussion can lead to bleeding in the brain or brain swelling that can be fatal. And if you don't believe me, look at the deaths from boxing. The Facebook founder has teased a full contact bout against the South African billionaire. I'm not saying it's a good chance, but it is a chance. Mark Zuckerberg's interest in cage fighting, last story, could have a material adverse impact on Meta's business should the Facebook founder sustain a serious injury or even die. A part of its annual report filed this month with the Securities and Exchange Commission for 2024, the parent company of Facebook and Instagram warned of possible risks. And potentially its share price. We currently depend on the continued services and performance of Mark Zuckerberg, and he participates in various high-risk activities such as combat sports, which carry the risk of serious injury and death. If he were to become unavailable for any reason, there could be a material adverse impact on our operations. He's 39 and began training in the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu martial art during COVID-19, telling Lex Friedman last year that doing so resulted in him getting beaten up a lot. He after that started training in MMA, and he teased the fight with Elon Musk and said it would be the biggest fight in the history of the world. He tore one of his ACLs while training for an MMA fight that was supposed to happen early this year. And a photo showed him in the hospital bed with his leg all messed up while holding a clenched fist. He was going like this. Yeah. The injury, which required surgery, Expected to take several months to heal, but he said he's still looking forward to fighting after he recovers. These people have no idea. He's Meta's largest shareholder, and he's trained with several champions, including Israel Adesanya and Alexander Volkanovski. He was recently awarded his blue belt under Dave Camarillo. So that the guy's in California. 0.1% drop in stock, and that lasts about 2 days. He should definitely get caught up on boosters first. What the heck? That sounded like sarcasm. Alright, we're not going to do any more stories. I'm done. Go to masterluki.com for my contact info, all my social media, and stay tuned for more. I'll be back hopefully, what's tomorrow? Thursday. Rick, you're the only one here, man. You're the best. Thank you.